In this session, we'll see the distance vector routing using a C program. The distance vector routing is used in the network layer where the nodes in the computer network will have a routing table in each node, or a node is considered as a router which maintains a routing table, and based on the routing table, each node or the router can find out the path to reach the other nodes in the network. So the distance vector routing algorithm helps in calculating the shortest distance to reach any destination. So as you can see in the diagram, there are 5 nodes or 5 routers you can consider. And each router is maintaining a table. And in the routing table, it has 2 vectors. One vector which indicates what is the distance for each of the neighboring nodes or the neighboring routers. And the second vector indicates the next hop entries. So if there's a distance, it means that there is a path. So it can reach to the proper destination. So in this example, A has a distance of 5 to reach B, and 2 for C, and 3 for D. So it is 5, 2, and 3. And for E, there is no path. So it doesn't have a route. So it can use the C node as a neighboring node to help to reach the destination E node. So the final cost will be 2 plus 4, that is 6. So A can reach E node using the C node. So the next hop entry is the C. So the next hop will tell you which is the next node that has to be followed to reach the particular destination. And its table, it maintains 0 for its own node. Because the distance is 0, for its own node, it is 0. And for all other nodes, there is some amount of distance. Similarly, for the B table also. Now, B can reach A, B, C, D using this much path. But it cannot reach the D node. There is no direct path. So it makes use of a help of A node. So the distance is 5 plus 3, that is 8. Similarly, for the D table, it has direct destination to A node and for E node. Not E node. So D has only one path, that is to A node, that is 3. And for all other destination, it makes use of other nodes. So you have A node, which helps to reach the destination B, C, and D. Similarly, the table is formed in the C node, and similar table is formed at the E node. Now, how does this distance vector routing help the routing tables? So distance vector algorithms helps in finding the shortest path. Now, for example, A node, to reach E, there are 2 paths. You can go through B and reach E, or you can go through C and reach E. So the cost involved is 5 plus 3 if you're going to use a B node, but the cost will be 8. Now, if you're going to use C node, the distance will be 2 plus 4, that is 6. So 6 is shortest distance or shortest cost. So 6 is lesser than 8. So that is why the C is chosen as the next hop. So when you have multiple options or multiple path that is available, this distance vector routing helps in finding the shortest path. So we'll see how this distance vector routing is implemented using a C program. So as you can see that each node will maintain 2 vectors, one vector for distance, one vector for the next hop entries. So we require 2 arrays. So we are creating a routing table using a structured data type where one array will maintain the distance and another array will maintain the next hop entries. So we're just considering that the maximum number of nodes in a network is 10. So now this is the routing table. This is structure defining the routing table, one routing table. Now this table has to be maintained in all nodes. So we require 5 nodes in this example, but we'll just consider as maximum nodes in a particular network as 10. So there are 10 nodes and each node will be having one particular routing table. And each routing table will have 2 arrays, one for distance and one for the next hop entries. Now we have to initialize these arrays, the vector that is maintaining the distance and the next hop. So you can see there is an init function which does that job, which initializes the distance and the next hop entries. And you can see there is 2 initialization value. Now suppose if a node belongs to its own node, then what is the distance? The distance is 0. If the distance is to neighboring node, then we are just initializing it to the maximum value. So 999 indicates the infinity value to indicate that there is right now there's no path. But once the nodes start sharing the table, then the proper update happens. So initially it is infinity value and later it gets updated. And the next hop entries, we can make it as 0 or some other null value. But here we're using as -20 just to indicate a hyphen. In the ASCII value, this helps in maintaining the hyphen value in the table entry. So you can see that if a node belongs to its own node, then the distance is 0. And if it is for other nodes, then the value is infinity. So finally, when you initialize the values of the arrays, it will be like this. The node array that has been created for the 5 nodes, for this example, this will be the matrix that is stored in the memory. So you can see that each row indicates the distance of A table, and the second row indicates the distance of B table. This is the distance. And C table, this row indicates the distance of the C table. And you can see there is infinity value. The infinity value is stored as 999. And similarly for the D table. So each row, each vector is stored as a row in the node matrix. See, in the program, we have node 10. So this each 10 element is going to have 2 arrays. So this one matrix indicates which is the distance matrix, and this array indicates which is the next hop entries. The next hop entries, we're initializing its own node as 0 and all other nodes as hyphen. That means there is no entry to it. To indicate that it is hyphen value, we have just used -20. And if it is its own node, that is if I and I is same, it means it is the same node, so the value is 0. And if it is other nodes, then it is in infinity value. This is the initialization part. Once it is initialized, we collect the data from the user, initial metrics from the user in the main function. See, in the main function, first we'll collect the number of nodes and then the distance matrix. So once the distance matrix is collected, we'll collect it in the form of a matrix. Once it is collected, then this row entry will be stored in this format. And this array indicates the distance matrix, and this indicates the next hop entries. This is the initialization part of distance vector algorithm. Now we'll see how the distance vector routing algorithm actually works. So we have 3 loops, which helps in indicating which row entry has to be modified. So we have I loop, K loop, J loop. So distance vector helps in finding the shortest path. So I represents from and J represents the 2 node. So from which node to which node, which is the distance. So this value, that is ij, indicates the cost that is involved from I to j. Now, suppose we have multiple paths. Say we can reach this j destination using some other node, which is at some other node, say that is a k node. So then what is the cost? So you can reach this from I to j, you can reach using a k node. So what will be the cost now? So I to k, then k to j. So add these two distances. That will be the distance involved in traveling from I to k and k to j. And if this value is lesser than the current value, then we're going to update the new shortest path. Okay. So how do we update it? So we'll send from which node to which node and what is the value of the shortest path. So the update function is called here, where the new value, the shortest value is stored. Shortest value is what? From I to k, k to j. So that is the shortest distance. So that is added to the value of this particular node, I to j. So how did we get the shortest value? When it travels to the third node, that is k. So the next hop entry is k. So initialize the next hop of j as k. So in updation, first we'll update the new shortest cost metric, and then which is the next hop entry. Through which node are we getting the shortest path? So that also has to be updated. So we'll see one example. Say A node receives the C table. Okay. So in distance vector routing table, each node will share their routing tables. So when the neighboring node C shares the table to the A node, then what happens? Now this is the A old table. So A cannot reach the E node, so the value is infinity. So the C will share its table. So this is the C table distance. Now we have this three loops, I loop, K loop, and J loop. So initially we are doing with A node, we are comparing A node with the C table. So A node is receiving the C table. So when K is equal to 2, it means it is a C table has been sharing its table. And J will indicate all the row entries. All the row entries of A, B, C, D. Now you can see that how the path is compared. Now for A to A, it is the same node. So we'll not see this example. We'll see the next example. Now to reach B, A to B, you can reach using the C node. So A to C, then C to B. This is actually has to be B. So what is the cost? So that is 2 plus 4, 6. So 6 is greater than 5, so no changes. So 6 is greater than 5. This is the 6, it is greater than 5, so no changes. Now the next example. Say to reach C destination, A to C, we'll use the C node. A to C, then C to C. So it is 2 plus 0. So it is same, so there's no changes. Now suppose consider the D1. A to D, we can reach using A to C, C to D. So what is the value? 2 plus infinity, because the C table is having infinity value. So this is more than the 3. So this is also not updated. Next we'll go to the E1. Now to reach A to E, we can use the C node. A to C, then C to E. So what is the value? A to C is 2 and C to E is 6. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Now A cannot reach in E because the infinity indicates there's no path. So this 999 is greater than 6. So now we have to update. So we got a shortest path. Now we'll update that. In place of infinity, we're placing 6. So this is the new value, shortest path. So we can reach E using the C node. So the simple 3 loops will help in updating the shortest value. So you can consider that I loop indicates all the nodes in the network. Okay. So if it is 0 means it is A node. If it is 1 means it is B node. If it is 2 means it is C node. And K indicates which is the other node through which the path can be followed. And C indicates all the destination nodes. So you can see there, C is all the destination node, and I is equal to 0 means it is the node A. And if it is K is equal to T 2 means it is the C table has been sharing the table. And K is equal to 1 means it will be B table has been sharing the table. If it is 3 means it is D table. So once the distance vector had found the shortest path, then we can display the updated tables. So how does the main function works? First, we'll collect the number of nodes. We'll initialize the distance and the next hop entries. Then we'll collect all the distance value from the user. Then we'll call the distance vector algorithms, which will find the shortest path. And then the updated tables are displayed. So using a simple matrix loop, you can display the distance values and the next hop values. Now, initialize value we have given minus 20. If next hop entry is null, that means we had initialized to minus 20. So here we're just adding 65 to the node value so that the names are displayed, or the node numbers are displayed in the form of node names, that is A, B, C, D. So we're just adding the 65 plus I to indicate which node entry it is. And if it is null, it is minus 20. So if you add minus 20 with 65, you'll get an hyphen symbol. So this is the output that we get after updating of the tables. So you can see that after distance vector, the shortest path is stored here. So you can see all the infinity value has been changed and all the shortest value has been stored in this distance metrics table or the distance vector table. So you can see these values. 0, 5, 2, 3 is the updated table of A. This row indicates the B table, that is 50483. Similarly for C, D, and D. And what is the next hop entry? For all other destination, it is null. And for E node, the next hop is C. Similarly for B, all other it is null. And for D, it can reach using A node. So this is the next hop vector table. Now this is the displaying of the distance vector and the next hop using the matrix array method. We can also display it in the routing table method. So you can use a loop like this and display just like a routing table. So you can just write 3 columns and then display which is the node number, which is the distance, and which is the next hop. So distance is d value. For the node names, we're using the 65 to indicate what are the node names. That is in the terms of A, B, C, D, the node names are displayed. So when you use this loop, the output will be in this format. So now you can see that the routing table is in the format that is shown in the diagram. So we have distance and we have the next hop entries. So you can use any method to display the output. Whichever you find it suitable, you can use it. Now we'll see just the tracing of the distance vector function. Just to understand how this I loop works, K loop works, and the J loop works. So there are 3 loops in this distance vector function. And using this 3 loops, we can find the shortest path. So initially, I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0 means it is node A. And K is equal to 0. That means we are comparing the A table. So node A is comparing its own table. And J indicates 0 to n for its all the destination in the neighboring node. Now comparing A node has no meaning. So we'll go with the next loop. So once all the J loop is done, what happens? K gets incremented to 1. So K becomes 1. That means we are comparing the B table to the A node. I is equal to 0. It is still in the A node. So now we'll compare the B table to the A table to find the shortest path. So now B is B table K is equal to 1 means B is sharing its table. Now when K is equal to 1, the J loop will start from 0 to 4. So what happens in the shortest path calculation is that So it is comparing A to A node. So you can reach A to A using B node. So A to B, B to A. So there's no updation. Now similarly for the second one, so A to B, to reach B, we can use B node. So what is the value? So there's no updation in this one. So once J is equal to 2, again, from A to C, we can use the B node as a different path. So what is the value? So there's no updation because it is still less. Similarly for all other loops. Okay, there's no updation in this B table because A is having the shortest path. Now all the J loop is over. Then K gets incremented. So K becomes 2. If K becomes 2, that means the C table has been compared. So C table is compared with the A table. So now you can see here, A to A, it is using the K value is C now. A to C, C to A. Similarly here for A to B, you can reach through C node, A to C, C to A. So there's no changes for all these loops. So once it comes to the E node, now you can see there's a change. To reach E, we can use C node. The value is 2 plus 4. So this is lesser than the infinity value. Now the update happens. Okay. Now similarly, all this loop calculation happens. So K is equal to 2 here. Now when K is equal to 3, the D table is compared. What is the shortest path? And when K is equal to 4, E table is compared. So not much changes. So once it becomes the E table, we have reached the last loop of the K. Again, now once all the K loop is done, I becomes 1. Now again, K becomes 0 and the same comparison starts, or the K loop starts. So K is equal to 0 and J is equal to 0 to 1. Now I is equal to 1 means the B node. Now B node is going to compare all the other routing tables of the neighboring node. So this is how your comparisons happen. So this example shows you how the shortest path calculation is done. So you can just try out the further calculation and check out how the calculation happens. This is just an example to show how the shortest path is calculated.